Welcome aboard It's About Time to Catalina 309. Today I'm going to be giving you the boat briefing. Here we have the AC and DC panel. On the left hand side we have the 120 volt side. Before disconnecting, you make sure you turn off the power going to the boat. For example, we'll start with the battery charger, HVAC, which is your air conditioning, outlets, and then your main. Then on the dock there's a pedestal. Make sure you turn that breaker off before unplugging. Moving to the right here, we got fans, gauges, refrigerator, which is on already, deck light, running light, steaming light, anchor light, navigation instruments, which are on because we will talk about them here shortly, your LP gas valve, which you would need to turn on to use the stove, cabin lights, television, stereo, VHF, which is also on, shower sump pump. You need to make sure that is on if you're using your shower or draining the ice box. Macerator pump, which is off always unless you're 9 miles offshore and you open the seacock, which by law we need it closed. Underneath that, it's fresh water pump if you got to wash your hands, take a shower. Autopilot, and then bilge. The bilge is set to auto. If the float switch goes out, you can easily override it by flipping it the opposite direction to manual, and the bilge will drain. And if you leave it in the middle, there is no power to it at all, and you will fill up with water and it will not drain. So always leave it on auto unless there's a problem. Here you have your house and start battery. It's on the bench on the starboard side of the boat. Over here, way in the front, we got a smaller battery. It's your start battery. Then you got two 4D batteries, which are your house batteries. A little black box, it's called a smart box. It keeps your start battery from draining from your house. And here is the bilge. Normally, there's normally a little bit of water in there. At the panel, there's also a switch, so you can override the float switch, like so. See the water draining? Make sure you put it back on auto when you're done. This boat only has one water tank, so there is no tank switching. You may want to do a radio check on channel 27 on the VHF like so. This is Sailing Vessel It's About Time, requesting a radio check. Wait for it to talk back.
Thank you for using the Sea-Tow Automated Radio Check located at South St. Pete, Pinellas Point.
This is Sailing Vessel It's About Time, requesting a radio check. To use the toilet, you need to add water to the bowl. You would flip this lever to the left. You would pump until it fills up with water. After you're done using it, flip it over to the right, pump until the bowl goes dry. Under the sink, you'll notice this button that says shower sump. Make sure you turn on a shower sump at the panel before you use this. If not, it will not work. This right here will drain your shower or your icebox. Under the shower sump switch, there's a button. If I was to push that button like so and open this up, it would guide me to this Y valve. The Y valve is set right now to drain the shower. If you turn it clockwise and then hit the shower sump drain switch again, it will drain the icebox. After you're done using it with the icebox, make sure you put it back in this position so your shower will drain properly. Here we have some seacocks and through hull fittings. Right here you got the head sink drain. Here you got the head intake. It is a salt water flush. And also the drain to the icebox goes through this as well. In the aft cabin, underneath the bed, center line of the boat, you'll notice some more through hulls like this one right here. This is your air conditioning. Before cleaning, you make sure you turn the AC off and turn the seacock off. You unscrew this plastic cap like so. Inside here, you'll notice a basket. Normally would have seaweed inside of it. You go rinse it out. When you're done, you put it back in like so. And then you put the cap on it. It's hand tightened. No need to over tighten any of these caps. Like so. Don't forget, after you're done, to open up the seacock like so. Next one after that is your lubrication for your stuffing box. I never really touch that unless there's a problem. Forward to that, right here, is the main engine strainer. Works the same way as the air conditioning by unscrewing this cap. If you follow this hose right here, it leads you right to the seacock right down there. Okay. If you need to check your oil, it's on the starboard forward side of the engine. It looks like this. If you check it, you would pull it like that. First time you clean it off, don't even bother looking at it. Make sure the dipstick goes all the way down, like so. And then slowly pull it straight out and look at your mark. It's right on the money. When you're done, make sure you stick it right back in all the way. If you made it a little mess, just wipe it up like so. If you're planning on using a stove, you have to turn on the gas valve. So the switch right here, put it to the on position, this light turns on. The next thing is go to the stove and light it, which I'll show you next. Over here is the stove. All you gotta do is push in on this button right here and then turn it. As you're holding in, you can hit the red button to ignite, like so. This one has 2 stove burners. Push in and turn, like so. If the little button does not work, we supply you with a box of matches. And after you're done, please make sure you turn the LP solenoid switch off. Okay, recording? Okay. This is a refrigerator. It's 12 volts. You should not have a problem leaving it on while you're sailing. There's a picture of it so you can see how big it is. Right behind me is the ice box. Right here. And I was showing you earlier from the head how to drain it with the shower sump and the Y valve. This boat has hatches on the deck. Please keep them closed while sailing. The jib sheets love to take them for a swim, and they do cost a lot of money. If you do open these hatches, they open like so. You turn this knob all the way, and that's how they stay open. When you do close it, there's a gap in between that is still open, so if it rains, water will get in. It's like a vent. The proper way is all the way down, like so, and turn that all the way. In your nav desk, you'll notice you'll find a hand bearing compass, some tools, and some charts. On the starboard shelf, you'll notice this white book. In there is a registration to the boat and little quick reference guides. To the right of that is the Catalina Yacht's manual for this vessel. Next to that, you got your flares, first aid kit, binoculars, air horns, and little knickknacks, and little things for the shades. The air conditioning controls are located on the starboard side of the vessel, next to the AC and DC panel. This vessel is equipped with 2 fire extinguishers. The first one is located right next to the galley sink. The other fire extinguisher is in the V-berth against the bulkhead on the port side. Up on the bow you have your anchor. It does not have a windlass. It is manually fed. There's a cleat for it. And over here is your only water fill. Make sure the scope is at least 7:1 for proper anchoring. On your mast you'll notice this little guy right here. To let the sail out, you have to lift up on this little lever like so, and then slide it over to free. I call it let the sail go free. Once the sail is out, please have someone immediately come up front and move it back to ratchet. In the cockpit, you'll notice this black line right here. As you can tell, it has no end. That is the line that goes over the drum that says free and ratchet. To let the sail out, you would release both of these right here, like so, and all you have to do next is pull on the out haul and the sail comes out. Don't forget to put it on ratchet after the sail is out, and make sure there's always tension on the sail when you're bringing it in. Your jib furling line is on the port side of the boat. It goes just like this, all the way to the jib furler. Make sure you always keep a little bit of tension as you're pulling it out with your jib sheet right there. In the port lazarette, you'll notice this red bag. That is your emergency tiller. Down here, in this blue bag, and even further down, you'll notice life jackets. Here's your emergency bilge pump. You will lift this lever up like so. Insert the handle, which is located in the lazarette. Insert it in all the way, and then you can start pumping. Like so. And water will come over the side. Emergency use only. Next to the lazarette, you'll notice another locker on the port side corner of the cockpit. There is your propane tank. On the starboard side of the cockpit corner, opposite of the propane, you'll notice this locker. In here there is a breaker. People accidentally sometimes pop it with their bags and so on. So make sure that's always on. I sometimes call those idiot breakers. To turn on the engine, you would turn the key to the on position. After you do that, it starts beeping. Over here, you have a black button and a red button. You would hit the black button to start. Engine turns on. Do not use the engine more than 2,500 RPMs. To turn off the engine, you hold down the red button. Then turn the key to the off position. Here are your gauges: wind, depth and speed, and autopilot. Do not use the autopilot with more than 10 knots of wind. It is an external drive. To engage the autopilot, there's a clutch right here, this black lever. Right there. You would push that down all the way and hit auto. To disengage, lift up the lever and hit standby. Here you have your GPS. If you want charts, just hit charts. You want navigation charts, there it is. You can scroll like this, and you can zoom in like this and out. You'll notice notes like this at the helm. Your mast height is 50 feet and your ground at 0.5. When your depth meter says 0.5, you're now aground. On the transom port side of the boat, you'll see this. That is your diesel fill. This boat does not take gasoline. It is diesel only. If you need to pump out, the pump out location is about midship on the port side of the boat. There it is. Up here on the starboard grab rail, you'll notice your boat hook. There's just a picture of the boat for you. That concludes the briefing on this beautiful 309 Catalina. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us. We're wearing blue and gold.